Hello. Before we do anything else, I wanted to go ahead and just post a really quick video just about the digital project and then the digital project presentation. So as you look at this, remember this entire semester we've been scaffolding and building. As you look at these projects from an audience standpoint with your group topics, your position paper was an audience of one, so it's me. Your symposium speech is an audience of several, it's your classmates. Your digital project now is kind of taking your topic and distributing it to the masses. So what you need to do, and we're going to walk through, there's a ton of different documents I'm going to open up for you, but ultimately you're trying to take your topic and distribute it digitally, visually appealing, but in such a way that the audience that you're trying to reach will be more persuaded by your argument because of the format. So I'm just going to read briefly what the syllabus kind of describes as your digital project, and then we're going to talk about it. So ultimately, you have 75 points for the actual digital project. And remember how I did the groups is I try to separate one person in your group, hopefully, should be a little more tech savvy. So I would let them take the lead on this and kind of let them creatively work through the process. But you have 75 points specifically for your digital project, and then you have 25 points for the actual distribution. Make sure that when you think through distribution, it's not just, well, I'm going to put it on Facebook because it's easy. Make sure that you are strategic about why you've chosen that method to reach your audience. So let's just read through this, and then I'm going to look over some other guidelines, and then I'm going to show you some examples of what a digital project could look like. So ultimately, as a group, you will design, construct, and distribute a digital project intended for a large public audience, the masses. This is intended to persuade your audience about the solution you proposed in your symposium speech. So ultimately, remember, every time you've done this, you've kind of been building on different solutions to the problems. So this is great because now you're taking the solutions that you identified in your symposium speech and you're now making those available to the masses and saying, here's what you can do to solve this problem. Each group will then prepare a 5 to 6 minute presentation to describe the digital project, what you did, how it worked, etc., how you work together as a group, and then present that to the class. That's not going to be that bad at all. That's just basically explaining to us why you chose the method, the format, and the distribution pattern that you did. Just walking us through the process. So that's what the syllabus says about this particular project. So let's minimize that. If you go to Blackboard and go to course content and look under digital project, you will see these three dynamics: digital project prompt, digital project assignment guidelines, and then the rubric. So let me go ahead and open up the prompt first. So here's kind of a little bit more about the presentation specifically. Presentation should highlight your digital project, show an overview of your final product, just walk us through it, provide a rationale for the solution that you propose in your product, which you've already somewhat done in your symposium speeches, or should. What digital form did you choose and why? What were some of the obstacles that you faced when designing, constructing, and or distributing your digital project? And then how successful was your project in reaching a large public audience? Can you prove to us how many people actually viewed this? That's why YouTube or Twitter or Facebook are usually good methods of distribution, or even email, because you can kind of track how many people have viewed it or are looking at it. Now, the assignment guidelines are a little more in-depth. So ultimately, the assignment will consist of 4 primary steps. So you want to write a brief proposal. When you meet with your groups, that's what you're going to do. You're going to write a brief project proposal about your digital project. You're going to create a digital project that promotes your chosen solution in a method and a format that is most appropriate. You're going to distribute your project in a way that reaches your target audience, whoever that is. That's up to you, but you need to identify that target audience so that you know who you're trying to reach. And then you're going to present your digital project and distribution process to the class as a group. That's it. So here are some specifics of what I'm looking for underneath each of those different dynamics. So the proposal, 1 to 2 paragraph description of what your group plans to do for the digital project. So a couple questions you need to answer. What is your proposed solution? Who is your audience? What digital project will you create? How will you distribute? That's it. Digital project, 75 points, right? So you can do a digital project, create a digital artifact as a group using the guidelines of visual communication discussed in class. That's chapter 8 of your textbook. Make a clear argument using effective persuasive strategies. So this is where the ethos, logos, and pathos kind of come into play for the visual communication. And persuade audience members to take a specific action. Be sure to appropriately cite sources used to make claims. Possible digital projects is probably going to appeal to most of you because you want to know specifically what am I supposed to do. You can do a website or a blog. You can do a brochure or a series of ads and flyers. You can do a YouTube video, a t-shirt campaign. If you have a different idea and want to do something different, I'm fine with that. Just let me know, but I have to approve it first. Next, you have your distribution plan. This is 75 points. So create public awareness of your artifact by sharing the project with your target audience. Use your audience analysis to determine the most effective method of delivery. And then there are just some other suggestions as well for how to do that. And then your presentation, which we've already talked a lot about, informal 5 to 6 minute presentation, address the same questions you proposed or you wrote about in your proposal, and then discuss how effective the distribution was. That's it. That's it. Now, so this is course content, digital project, boom, there it is. And then here is the rubric, and you can kind of look specifically at different dynamics of those. We aren't going to walk through all of it, but just make sure that you, as an individual and as a group, make sure that you're kind of recognizing all of those elements and including all of those elements in your project. If you want to see examples, which I believe would be beneficial for you, you can go to the Instructional Communication and Research homepage, ci.uky.edu. Under that different website, you've got student resources, and then you'll go to example digital projects. And then over here in assignment type, you'll go to 111, 112 symposium. Now, down here you have a couple different examples of different projects that people have done. I've gone ahead, so this is a YouTube video. You can watch that. I'm not going to make you watch that on this video, but it might be a good idea for you to watch it. And then they've also got a Facebook page, Twitter page, all that different kind of stuff to distribute the video. But then here are the 3 websites that people made with each of these topics. So you've got this confidence is key, which is down at the bottom on the judging others. They've got some good visual appeal. They've got a pretty relatively easy to navigate website, and I actually use Wix.com for my personal website. It's really user-friendly and really easy to use. So they've also got a link to a YouTube video and some other things down there. So that's a really cool idea. A little bit too much space in the middle here. But ultimately, this is at least a really good example for you of just a website that utilizes images, video, and is kind of multimodal. Next, this We Are Not Science Experiments website. This is actually a little crisper, isn't it? A little too much text, but ultimately a little crisper than the first one. Not sure of the organizational pattern and structure of the page here, but you can at least kind of see what they're going for. And then the Change Your Life, Change the World, again, a Wix website, which is free. But you can kind of choose different dynamics at the top to separate different topics. And again, a lot of visual appeal here, really crisp, really clean, good color choice. So those are just 3 of the websites that people have done. You do not have to do a website. But I would just encourage you to kind of get together with the person who may be a little more tech savvy and find out from them, what do they feel most comfortable with. If you have any additional questions, I am always willing to answer those. Ultimately, when you meet with your groups for the first time to discuss your digital project, what you need to hand into me is a proposal. That's it. I'll read those proposals. Each group needs to turn in a proposal, not each individual. I'll read those proposals and then basically just kind of either sign off on it or say, hey, you need to rethink. Most of them, though, unless it's that you want to do a PowerPoint slide and that's it, I will probably sign off. So just be creative, play to your strengths, and just try to make sure that you're utilizing all elements of visual communication and visual appeal effectively. So hopefully this is a good overview of the digital project. If you have any other questions, as I said, please feel free to ask. But ultimately, I think that the resources that I showed you today will give you a great start for trying to figure out exactly how to approach this digital project. So good luck. You guys are going to be fine, and I firmly believe that this element is something that you will really enjoy. So let me know if you have any questions. If not, enjoy the rest of your day.